Before COVID-19, just 7% of American laborers had the alternative to work from home. 1. That doesn't imply that 7% were telecommuting, it just implies that 93% of Americans were informed that it could never be an option. Today, telecommuting is a need. There are no hard measurements on what number of individuals are working remotely around the globe, yet the organization Cisco has said that, in China, their video conferencing programming has been considering 22 to be as much traffic as it did before the outbreak. 2. The world is occupied with a worldwide work-from-home analysis, and we're going to see direct exactly how manageable it is. A couple of months back, all-inclusive essential pay appeared to be an unrealistic fantasy. Sending each individual in a nation a month-to-month check, regardless of whether they don't go to work, was beginning to manifest on the odd battlefield, yet in many nations, it didn't seem like anything we'd perceive whenever soon, but for the following hardly any months, it will be a reality. The United Kingdom has focused on paying 80% of its labourers' salaries. 6. While Denmark has offered to pay upward to 90%. 7. And even the United States is anticipating sending a $1,200 check to pretty much every grown-up American. 8. None of these plans are actually equivalent to all-inclusive essential salary. However, they're close. They're going to successfully be dry trials on how these arrangements truly influence society. Schools are closing down in almost every nation that has seen an episode of COVID-19, and that is driving guardians into educators into an entirely different time of education. For the following hardly any months, internet learning will be the standard. Regardless of how well-informed your instructor is, they will need to figure out how to make training digital, based on early responses. It's improbable that we'll see across-the-board appropriation of online training when this is finished. Input from instructors, up until now, has been all around negative. A great deal of organizations are being hit hard at the present time, yet no one as hard as bars in restaurants. France, Spain, Italy, Germany and the United Kingdom are only a couple of nations that have closed down all bars and restaurants. 24. And in nations that haven't ordered it, scarcely any individuals are deciding to go out for drinks for the following barely any months. These organizations and their workers will be deprived of any income stream that doesn't originate from the legislature. A great deal of them won't be ready to endure it. COVID-19 is hitting our well-being hard, however it's hitting our economy considerably harder. As per examiners at JP Morgan Chase, there is no longer uncertainty. We currently imagine that the COVID-19 stun will create a worldwide recession. 36. A part of individuals will lose their positions. That investigator predicts that 400,000 Americans will get jobless in the following barely any weeks alone. What's more, before this is finished, it could be much more dreadful. Another examiner accepts that, before this over, 7.4 million individuals in the relaxation and accommodation industry will be unemployed. 37. It's poor people who will be hit hardest of all. While office laborers will be ready to work remotely from home, it'll for the most part be servers and distribution center specialists that endure this pandemic.